Um, so we've got a really fun class. Today started an upper level training, so we're joined here with our upper level trainees. Um, that means there will be some options for some challenging things, but you know, it's always going to be supported. You're always going to have options. I tell you this just so you don't feel pressure to do anything ever, because that's not what yoga is about. But especially in today's class, as there are more challenging options, just stay true to yourself. And at the top of the screen, you'll see a mantra. This is Hanuman mantra, and Hanuman is a Hindu deity. He's the monkey god, and he's really sweet. He's really playful. He's super strong. And a fun fact about Hanuman is he isn't aware of how amazing and how powerful and how magical he is. And so in that way, we're all Hanuman, right? We are all divine consciousness, but we've got a lot of layers of stuff over that. So we're not always aware that we're these supreme cosmic beings. But certain things give us a trigger. They remind us of our true power. So we'll be doing some Hanuman mantra today to connect with that playful, sweet, loving energy that is really powerful, like heart power, right? But that might help us do some of these physically powerful poses as well. So let's repeat the mantra a couple times together while you can see the screen before you lay down and all that. So, and if you're already laying down, please don't move. Laying down is very important. So I'll say it one time slowly, and you guys are all muted, so you can sing it as loudly as you want, and no one will ever know. It's Om Ham Hanamate Rudrakmakaya Hom Pat Swaha. I know that's a big one. It's a mouthful. Hanuman doesn't care if you say it right. So just have fun with it. Om Ham Hanamate Rudrakmakaya Hum Pat Swaha. 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 Okay, and we'll be coming back to that mantra a few times in class. And so that you don't have to scoot up to your computer, you can always just do an intoned om. So that's oming with the mouth shut, like mm. And that way you get a really nice vibration, but you don't have to think about all those crazy syllables. You can let me do the heavy lifting. So feel free to choose either of those options whenever I remind us to come back to the mantra. So with that, friends, we can begin. And while you're still looking up at the screen, I just want to show you one hand position we're going to do a lot of times in class. It's the fingertips touching. Try this. Yeah, if you were here last week, this is review. And we're going to call this circuit hands, right? It's like you're creating a circuit. Instead of your energy going out, your fingertips touch, and it's like your energy just travels right back to your heart, right? And then actually push the fingertips together and just notice if there's any sense of broadening in the wrist, any sense of broadening in the chest, in the shoulders. We'll be playing with a lot of shoulder stuff, and so this is just our reminder to keep spaciousness in the shoulder socket, and just let those muscles in the chest and the shoulders and the back and the neck just naturally fire to support us. Right? So these are circuit hands, and sometimes we'll do them here at the navel, sometimes we'll be doing them here whenever yeah, ooh, that's fun. You guys look cool. It's like kind of astral. All right, with that, friends, let's come to our bellies. Hooray! And actually you'll be doing circuit hands overhead, and bring your forehead to the mat. And if that doesn't feel comfortable, it is okay to stack the hands and place the forehead on that instead. And then just start to breathe. Keep gently pressing fingertips together. And notice the sensations traveling down into the armpits, the chest. And just start to breathe a little deeper into those sensations, those spaces. Let the breath expand the body. We'll just take a few more awakening and livening breaths here, connecting towards our hearts, towards our center. Is that better? Huh, it must be the music. Okay, no music today. No music today. That's okay. We have the music of our hearts beating. Thank you for letting me know. So place hands wide in line with the shoulders, and then just gently start to draw the hands back and notice any sense of the shoulders sliding down the back, or even an awakening in the core. And then gently push the hands forward and notice how that sensation changes. And do that a couple of times. And try to avoid any temptation to push really hard. Just let this wake up sensation without forcing anything. We're going to be doing a lot of things on our shoulders, so we have to be really skillful when to use energy in the shoulders. And now is not the time, right? We're just feeling, but we're not exerting. And the next time you peel the hands back, let the head lengthen forward. Take a breath into the heart, allow the chest to become buoyant. And then extend the left arm overhead and roll on to the left side. For those of you in the teacher training, this is the exercise we did together. So we'll just start to wake up awareness in the left side of the body by gently rocking forward and back. And imagine 1,000 little cute eyeballs in your foot that are looking and feeling and gathering information about the stimulus of the rocking. And then that inner gaze travels up. It travels up to your ankle and your calf. All those little eyes are not really seeing, they're more so feeling. And just let that sense of awareness travel up the left side of the body, just allowing you to start to feel. We're not massaging our body here, we're just observing sensation. And then any delicious massage that happens is a bonus. And the real goal is to feel and to respond. Make your way up to the rib cage. And the armpit. And then the shoulder. Notice the head. Always feel free to adjust the angle of that outstretched arm to make sure that the shoulder feels comfortable. And then make your way all the way up to the wrist and the hand. And just keep gently rocking from side to side, massaging the body. And now we'll actually roll. We'll keep rolling. We'll be rogue yogis and we'll roll off of our mat and hug the right knee into the chest. Gently lift the chin to the knee. Again, right effort. So you don't need to overexert. And then release the head down. And do this a couple times, just waving the spine up and down, starting to awaken the front of the body. And then release the head down. Stretch the leg forward and the arms overhead and point the toes and just get this sense of the whole body unfurling and lengthening. And then interlace your hands overhead and flip the palms, keep the elbows deeply bent, and hover the feet so they're pointed towards the ceiling, and bend the knees. So elbows and knees are bent. And then just play with kicking the legs long as you press the hands away from the head. So arms and legs move towards straight, and then they bend. And then they straighten at the same time, and then they bend at the same time. And as you play with this movement, just anchor your awareness in your low back. And notice any sense of connection as the hands and feet press. Notice that connection down into the low back and the core. Notice any sense of the body hollowing out as the limbs stretch apart. And the next time everything presses, pause there for a moment. Just push into the hands. Feel any support rooting down into the lats, the big muscle in the back, down to the low back. And then release the arms and just gently kick hands and feet. And less is more here. Like a really gentle shake can be really powerful. And then grab behind the knees and kick the legs forward to roll yourself up to seated. Bring the soles of the feet together. Hands on the ankles or the knees, whatever, or even behind you. Actually, that's great. Let's do hands behind for this first one so you can lengthen the spine and just bounce the knees a couple of times. And then if there's no discomfort in the back, you can play with walking the hands forward and let the spine round and then release back into the hands. So you round forward and then you push into the legs to unfurl the spine and notice the weight coming back into the hands. Weight releases forward and then press into the legs to send the weight back into the hands. Just do this a couple of times. And then stretch your feet forward and at the same time extend your arms back, returning to lying down. Bend the right knee, push into the right foot, and roll back onto your belly. And we're back at the beginning. We just had a little glimpse of our sequence, but there will, of course, be more added on. And so circuit hands overhead, rest the forehead down, and either intone the sound Om, or repeat Hanuman mantra with me before we do the second side. Om Ham Hanumate Rudrakmakaya Pat Swaha. And so now hands come in line with the shoulders, but wider out to the sides. Draw them back. Let the shoulders anchor down and peek the heart forward for a modified Bhujangasana. And then extend the right arm long, push into the left hand, and roll onto the right side of the body. same exercise, we'll wake up the other side of our body, starting at the feet, working our way up. And just really gentle rock. See how minimally you can move and still feel. Right? It's almost like the less you move, the more you have to focus on feeling. And just keep walking your awareness up and up, noticing any little feedback in the body. Keep breathing. Work your way up to the next joint. And see if you can feel a little gratitude for the ability to feel, the opportunity to have a body, and your choice to do something really conscious with your body. We'll take one more minute. Keep traveling your awareness up the right side. And then when you're ready, roll all the way onto the back. Left knee hugs in, chin up to knee, Pavana Muktasana, and then head down. Just take a few waves like this. It's not about height, it's more about that effortless control of the lifting and the lowering without strain. Though it might feel challenging, you don't have to strain. And then stretch the whole body long, point the toes, reach the fingers, and just feel the whole body lengthen. Notice the scapula, the shoulder blades anchoring towards the ground. And then lift the feet overhead, interlace the hands, flip the palms, bend knees and elbows, and start to extend the limbs as you press the hands away from the head. And take a few on your own, again, trying to notice how the limbs anchor into the body. And if it feels really good to stay extended, you can stay there for a moment and breathe. And then reach the arms up and just ever so gentle shake. Grab behind the knees, kick the legs forward, rolling up, and then soles of the feet together, knees wide, fingertips behind you, sit up nice and tall, breathe into the front of the shoulders. And then walk the hands in, allow the spine to curl forward, and then kick into the feet and the outside of the ankles to unfurl the spine, bringing more weight back into the hands. So release forward, and then unfurl. It's almost like a tug of war between the hands and the feet, except everybody wins. And the next time you roll up, start to extend the feet forward and hands overhead, and then recline all the way back down. Big stretch. Bend the left knee, press into the sole of the left foot. Roll onto the belly, circuit hands overhead. Bend the elbows, forehead down. And then either just silently om to yourself, listen to the mantra. Om Ham Hanamate Rudrakmakaya Hum Pat Swaham. And so we'll repeat that. Certain warming exercises will be eliminated, and then certain much more warming exercises will be added. So now hands wide, traction the hands back, let the heart peek forward. We'll add on here, lift the left foot and gaze over the right shoulder. And then switch, lift right foot, gaze to the left. And then do this a few times, and as the head points in one direction, just notice that long line all the way up and across the body to the opposite foot. You can even start to bend the knee of that foot that's lifting. Bend the knee of the foot. Don't your feet have knees? You know what I'm saying. And just try to feel this all happening in concert. So the foot lifts and the whole side body lengthens. And the head's just an extension of that. The next time the right foot lifts and you're gazing to the left, pause there, lengthen the left arm overhead, roll over the left side just like we did before, and then go right into hugging the knee into the chest. And then we're going to do something crazy. We're going to hit rewind, and we are going to roll back onto the belly. The right foot's going to stay lifted, and then just gaze over the left shoulder. And do that a few times until it becomes a little more natural. And so you're going back the way you came. That same foot stays lifted and then hugs into the chest. And see if you can smooth it out as you start to roll. And if it's too much, just stay on your back and rock the knee from side to side and enjoy that massage in that way. We'll all meet on our back in a moment. We'll go right into those crunches. The next time you lift, pause, take a breath, and then kick the leg forward and reach the hands overhead. This time flex the wrist. So imagine you're in a handstand. Flex the wrist, point the toes, and just push out through the base of the wrist so you feel the arms energize. And then lift the shins. Keep the soles of the feet together. Let the knees come wide, just like we were doing in Baddha Konasana, sitting up. Reach the hands to the ceiling and start to peel the back off of the floor, coming into an upside down crow pose. So the forearms come in towards the shins, and the shins squeeze into the forearms, and you're doing it right if your core is working. And then come down and take a few pulses like this, just like we did in Apanasana, but now the legs are in that Baddha Konasana diamond that we did sitting up. One last time, and then grab behind the knees, kick the legs forward, and allow the knees to open into Baddha Konasana, what we were just doing upside down, right? Fingertips behind you, let the knees bounce. You can do this waving the same way we did before with the hands behind you, or if it feels okay, start to lift the hands and let them follow the spine. So same action with the spine, and just imagine the shoulders and the arms are an extension of the spine. So you don't have to do anything with the arms. Just let them follow, like flowing water. Beautiful. Nice, everybody. And then come back up, place the hands behind you, place the soles of the feet to the ground, and just lift the hips for a moment into reverse table. And then set the hips down and allow the hands and feet to adjust. That's for you, Dana. And then lift the hips up again. And do this a few times until you find a space where the shoulders feel really supported and there's no pressure. And the hips don't have to lift very high, right? Make sure there's a little bend in the elbows. You guys look really nice. Yeah, just keep breathing. You can allow the head to lengthen back as the hips lift if it feels okay on the neck. If it doesn't feel good, don't do that. And then let's all set the hips down. Place the left hand the other direction, so it's pointed towards the top of the mat. Push into the hands and the feet, and point the knees to the left, and then just roll back onto your mat into table. Yay, we're back on our mat. Doesn't it always feel like, phew, what a relief. Wag the tail a couple of times. And I always have to make sure. Okay. And the right foot will step outside of the hands this time and draw some big circles with the hip, releasing any tension in the hip socket. Just letting the thigh bones start to glide. Push down into the right foot and notice how that pushing action sends the spine to upright. And let's come to those circuit hands, right? So this is our reminder to anchor inside. So press the fingertips together, close the eyes unless that's hard to balance and keep them open. Just try to feel the shoulders anchoring into the body. Try to notice any sense of being able to turn on the core as the fingertips press into each other. And breathe. And then any power you've created, any stability, try to maintain that as you open your arms to cactus and let the heart shine upward. Take a breath into the heart and then start to kick into the front leg. And as you kick into the front leg, notice the hips going back and start to push the hands forward with flexed wrists as if you're trying to slam a really heavy door. And try to feel these happening in concert. So the leg kicks and the arms push forward together. Do that a couple times. Bend the knee and the elbows and then push everything forward and try to feel the body hollowing out as you do that without strain, but just to support the front of the spine. So it's like with love, because you want to support your spine. No strain, just love. And the next time you press forward, pause for a moment. Again, flex the wrists. Imagine planting those hands on the earth and really pushing in them to support your body. And then bend into the front knee. And now you don't have to imagine. Place the hands down and push into them. And just notice any sense of support in the shoulders, any puffing up in the back of the body. Take a breath. Tuck the back toes and step the back foot outside of the left hand. So you're in a symmetrical position. So if it's possible, play with lowering the hips. You might want to walk the heels in a little bit. It's okay to let the heels lift. We're coming down into a squat. And if that's not feeling good, keep the hips high and actually play with bending the knees in a high squat. If it is feeling good, come to circuit fingers in your squat, right? And so again, there's your reminder. Find your anchor, breathe to the navel. And then place the hands down on the ground. And we're not coming into crow pose, but we want to just feel that pressing down into the hands to start to lift the hips and hollow the core. So just bring some weight into the hands and puff up through the back of the body, lift the hips a little bit, and then bring them back down. So just playing with shifting the weight into the hands. Make sure there's no discomfort in the wrists. Let the hands be soft, but grip with the fingertips. And the next time you push forward, just step right back into plank pose. And take a breath into the front of the body, letting it lengthen out. And press the knees down. Let the hips push back to the heels. And we'll take a baby wave here. So just push down into the shins, rounding the spine into the air, letting the shoulders stack over the wrists, and then press the hands back just to peek the heart through like cow pose. And then just lower back down onto the belly. Circuit hands overhead, forehead to the mat, and just breathe. And just soften. And just notice the right side of the body after that sequence of poses. We'll repeat that exact same sequence in the second side. So sometimes when you know where you're going, you can just relax a little bit more. All right. So hands wide. We'll bend one knee and lift that foot and gaze the opposite way over the opposite shoulder and then switch. So Just a fun way of activating the back line of the body, right? The posterior chain, getting everything engaging up the back of the leg, up the spine, then adding in just a nice little side bend to keep things moving. And the next time you gaze over the right shoulder, extend the right arm, push into the left hand, and roll all the way onto the back. Hug the left knee in. And then place the sole of the left foot down and roll all the way back and pull the right elbow back for that side bend. And then extend right arm, roll onto the back, hug the knee in, sole of the foot down, push into it to roll all the way back. And do this a few times until you can start to feel that connection of the opposite limbs hugging in to the center. So the left leg pulling all the way into the center, and then the right arm anchoring in and meeting it. And the next time you roll onto your back, pause there and take some lifts in Pavanamuktasana and try to relax. And then stretch the whole body long, flex the wrists, and push into the hands. Imagine they're supporting your weight, but you're this relaxed. There's no strain anywhere. You can breathe, you're supported. And then soles of the feet together, knees wide, hands on the ceiling. Start to roll up and squeeze the forearms and the shins together for upside down Bakasana, crow pose, and then release. And then do this a couple of times and notice how hard your core is working. Sometimes when you do it the other way, we don't actually work quite this hard. So see if you can memorize this sensation so you can do it when we flip around. Eventually, not yet. We've got a whole class to do first. And then recline, lift hands and feet, gentle shake, right? Just imagine tension just sloughing off and try to feel. I know we all have a little jiggle somewhere. Just try to feel that gentle. Usually it's not a thing we want to feel, but it actually feels good. It's like a softness. It's letting us just be natural and relaxed. And then hands behind knees, kick the legs forward, your back up, soles of the feet together. Take a breath, Baddha Konasana. The hands can stay behind you, or you can start to allow the hands to become an extension of the spine as you wave forward and come up, release forward and come back up. And we all have different constitutions, so it might serve you to move really, really, really slowly, or maybe a little faster. Whatever helps you feel, right? We want to make sure we feel as we move. And then roll back up, plant the soles of the feet, plant the hands behind you, lift the hips, and then set them back down, adjust hands and feet, and lift again until you find a place where there's no tension in the knees, there's no tension in the shoulders, and you're able to really support yourself. And breathe. And then place the bottom down, right fingertips point towards the top of the mat, press into the hands, press into the feet, and let the knees drop to the right, and then plant the left hand towards the top of the mat and roll to table. So we're back in table. Give your tail a little wag, and then left leg straight out, and step the left foot outside the hands and give the hips a nice big circle. Try to relax here. Try not to force anything. Just notice the sensation in the hips. Are they tight today? Is there fluidity? Just listen. Then push into the left hand. Press the hips forward to stack the spine and circuit hands in front of the navel. Take a breath to the heart. And just feel that inward focus strengthening even as you move your body. And then with that inward focus, we open arms to cactus, let the spine unfurl. And then start to dive forward. So kick into the left leg and push the hands forward and try to feel them happening together. and then bend the knee and the elbow, and then push everything forward. And as you take a few pulses here, try to feel how the reaching forward allows you to connect with your center, your actual core, right? Because all the limbs connect back into the core. Nothing's separate in the body. The next time you reach forward, pause there. Notice if anything's gripping and see if you can rock a little, relax the joints a little bit, flex the wrists, and then place the hands down. Push into the hands to feel that sense of support and stability from the hands up to the shoulders. Try bringing a little extra weight on the outside of the hands. As you do that, you might notice the elbows bend a little bit. Maybe you can even feel the neck relax and the top of the shoulders relax. That's a good thing. So play with having more weight there on the hands. And then walk the left foot in towards the left hand. Step the right foot outside of the right hand. Stay here in a forward fold or start to play with dropping the hips for malasana, our low squat. Circuit hands in front of you. Use them to find some space, right? So as you press the fingertips together, can the collarbones open a little? Can the back strengthen a little bit? Can the head peek up just like a little turtle coming out of its shell? And then place the hands down, lift the hips, and as you lift the hips, just notice weight gently going into the hands, and then lower the hips, let the hands hover. And then hands down, hips up, and then start to teeter-totter like this, just noticing this relationship between lifting your hips and letting your hands plant and trusting it. And we're not taking flight, right? So just try to have a sense of being safe and supported here. The next time you come forward, step back to a weightless plank. Doesn't it feels so good to extend the legs after that deep squat? Breathe into the front of the hips. Try to feel some support in the shoulders. And then drop the knees, hips back to the heels, push down into the shins, rolling the spine forward. And when you get to the top, pull on the mat, peek the heart through. Take a breath into the heart, and then lower all the way down. Forehead to mat, circuit hands overhead. And because we've done both right and left, we'll pause here a little longer. And we'll just absorb that. Om Ham Hanamate Rudrakmakaya Pat Swaha. Okay, so again, we'll repeat and we'll move faster now that you know what's happening. We're not really adding on. We'll just make things more challenging if you want them to be. And if you don't want them to be, try to do them the way we did the first round so that you're extra supported and you can stay supported. So, hands wide. Drag the hands back, peeling the heart off the mat. This time the hands can hover. Bend the left knee and start to pull the right elbow down so you're taking a deeper side bend to the right. And then go the opposite way. And just do that a couple times and make sure you're not locking up in the back. The next time you side bend towards the right, towards the left, extend the left arm, push into the right hand, and roll onto the back. Hug the knee into the chest. Just one of those this time. Point the toes forward and do our laying down handstand, pushing into the hands, feeling the shoulder girdle wrap around the rib cage. Take a breath. And then big toe mounds touch. Knees come wide, hands on the ceiling, roll up. Let's do 3 of these upside down bakasanas. And just notice the core engage and really try to press the forearms and the shins together. And then recline and just shake it out, right? No tension. We're getting stronger, but we're not getting tenser. Hands behind the knees, kick the feet forward, coming all the way up. Pause for just a moment in Dandasana. Let the spine lengthen. And then soles of the feet together, knees wide. And if you need some stillness, just breathe. In Baddha Konasana, you can use circuit hands. Otherwise, take 3 waves here, letting the waves come from your center and then just ripple forward and up. And then soles of the feet down, hands down. We'll take 1 reverse table, and then we'll place our hips down. We'll point the left hand towards the front of the mat. This time, press into the feet, press into the left hand. Option to lift the right hand for rock star. So a little bit more weight in the left hand. Maybe you'll need to walk it further away from you so there's no pressure. Feel free to make some circles with the right hand. Just make sure your options feel good for you. And then 2 choices. You can lower your hips and roll to table just like we did, or keep the hips high. Traction the foot and the hand together so there's a lot of strength in that left side, and start to reach the right hand down as you twist into down dog. Maybe that right leg lifts right up, or it comes down to the ground. That's up to you. If it's down on the ground, lift it up, give that ankle some circles, and then step the right foot outside the hand. This time we will keep the back knee lifted, but you can always lower it if that felt better. Push down into the front foot, coming up to a high lunge, and then circuit hands in front of the navel, right? Find your center, breathe, and then really use the hands. So press the fingertips together, just letting your shoulders open. Breathe. And then we lift into a big cactus, letting the spine lengthen. Start to extend the front leg and push forward so that you can feel your core strengthening, right? Imagine your hands are pressing on the ground. And then start to shift into the front foot for flying warrior. Keep pushing the hands forward and kick into the back foot. And then release the back foot down, hands to circuit. We're back at the beginning. Pause. When you're ready, back bend, nice big cactus. Extend the front leg, push forward, option to take flight, and really push into the hands to send that foot up. Keep visualizing that handstand. Set the back foot down. Do it one last time. You can always pause and hold lunge, right? If you need some stillness, stay here and breathe. Otherwise, one more heart opener. One more hamstring stretch and fly. Take a breath and then let the back foot come down. Release the hands down inside of the foot and step the back foot forward. So again, you can keep playing with lowering the hips for Malasana. If that went well the first time, we're going to play with something called leapfrog. And so from Malasana, you'll press into the hands to push the feet back. Press into the hands and hop the feet back. And try to feel that connection between pushing into the hands and the core engaging to send, nice, the whole body flying. And then when you're at the back of your mat, start to walk the hands forward. We're coming into down dog, but try to lift the hips as you walk the hands forward to get a sense of this unfolding. So you can take a baby wave where we were with the knees down, or from down dog if you want to take a full waving vinyasa, press into the feet, round the spine forward, stacking shoulders over the wrists, and then pull on the mat to let the heart peek through. Keep the hips nice and high so there's no compression in the low back. And then drop the knees, drop the whole body, circuit hands overhead, forehead to ground, and just absorb. Notice anything, any sensations in the right side of the body. That was a lot. We did some interesting things there. So maybe you notice something opening. Maybe you notice something talking to you. If you ever notice something uncomfortable, just take note, so when you have your option on the second side, maybe you don't go as deep or you don't hold as long, and you find that compassion of like, how can I do this without creating tension? Om Ham Hanamate Rudrakmakaya Hum Pat Swaha. We forget our true nature. We forget that we are perfect, radiant beings. And yoga is how we remember. Hands wide. Start to take your swimming locust pose with forearms lifting and just alternating side to side. The next time the left foot reaches up, extend the right arm, push into the left hand, roll. Whoopsies, sorry, we got to roll the other way. So come back onto the belly, and next time the right leg lifts, left arm extends, and roll onto the back. Hug the knee into the chest, and we're actually not going to repeat that again. So now lengthen hands and feet apart for laying down handstand. If you want a little more oomph here, try lifting the head 1/2 inch and the feet 1/2 inch. And then put it all back down so you don't build any strain. And then feet together, knees wide. Let's take 3 crow poses and try to be as relaxed as possible now that the body knows what to do. And then lengthen limbs up. Gentle, gentle shake. Grab behind the knees, kick the legs forward. Baddha Konasana. You know the options, right? So now just choose yours. There's nothing new here. Except it's always new. Because each moment is different. And then plant the hands behind you. Plant the soles of the feet. Flip the left hand towards the top of the mat. And lift up for rock star. The bottom can lower all the way or flip into down dog with the one leg lifted. Circle the ankle. And then step the right foot forward. Oh my goodness, we didn't do this on the left side, did we? Come on, yoga teachers, did we do this on Dave is coming in.
This is the left side. We did the right.
Okay, so we are doing the second side, and you feel...
Yeah.
Wow, that's a yoga miracle. I think it's all the mantra we're doing. Thank you, Hanuman, for this yoga miracle. Beautiful. So, from here, press into the front foot. Rise up into the high lunge. I feel like we just... Okay, you guys are in your left, so I'm just on my wrong side. Okay, yes. Woohoo. Okay, if like me, you were on the wrong side, make sure your left foot is forward. Okay, so from here, circuit hands in the navel. Just pause and bring your focus to center. And then when you're ready to unfurl, press into the back foot. Notice that sense of opening in the front of the hip and allow that to encourage the spine to open and lift the hands as the icing on the cake. And then extend the left leg, reach the hands forward, lengthening. And then start to shift the weight forward, flex the wrists, let the back leg lift into your flying warrior. And then set the back toes down, circuit hands at the navel, and just pause. We'll repeat that 2 more times, and if you've got the hang of it, you can go at your own pace. Otherwise, let's move together. Press into the feet, opening through the front of the spine, cactus arms, and then extend the front leg, push the hands forward, lengthen, and then shift the weight. Take your flight, set the toes down, pause and anchor. Imagine everything pulling towards your center, just like the center of a wheel. All the spokes anchor into that center. Press into the feet, unfurling. Last one. Extend the front leg, push the hands forward. Feel everything anchoring at center, and then shift the weight, flying warrior. And then extend the back leg back, hands down. Pause for a moment, and then step the right leg outside the hands. Let the hips lower and push into the hands to hop the feet back. And take just a few hops to make it to the back of the mat. And once you've arrived at the back of the mat, pause. Start to walk the hands forward. Start to lengthen the legs. We'll all meet in down dog. You can rest on your belly. You can take a baby wave, or you can bend the knees and wave forward, slowly bringing shoulders over wrists, supporting the front of the spine, then letting the hips lower as you pull on the mat, opening the front of the spine. Drop the knees, lower down. Okay, and now we've balanced outside. We pause and breathe. Circuit hands overhead. And so we'll repeat that sequence one final time. We'll have an opportunity for our peak poses, which of course are optional. As we move through it, just see if you can get a sense of flow, of one movement just flowing into the next instead of isolated movements. Om Ham Hanamate Rujagmakaya Hum Pat Swaham. Hands underneath the shoulders, drag the hands back to peek the heart forward, hover your arms. We'll just do one time each side, and we're gonna roll the same way we rolled last time, over the left side, and we'll balance it out in a moment because this is just the way it goes. Hug the knee into the chest, and then extend the whole body, laying down handstand, option to lift for a moment, and then laying down crow pose, and then recline and just let the limbs shake. Grab behind the legs, kick the legs forward, take a moment in Baddha Konasana, and then add your waving or hold still. And then plant the hands behind you, plant the soles of the feet, flip the left wrist, and lift into rock star. Can flip into table or down dog with the right leg lifted high. Circle the ankle, and then step the right foot forward. Press down into the feet, rise up, circuit hands in front of the navel. Take a breath. And lift the arms to cactus. Extend the front leg, press forward into, I guess we didn't name this, modified Parsvottanasana, and then take flight. You have the option here to bring the hands down and just take a little kick. And then come all the way up and repeat. So the hands come to the navel, and then we've got cactus arms. And then pressing forward, Parsvottanasana, shift the weight, and then maybe bring the hands all the way down and take a higher kick. So that warrior can go straight into the little kick up handstand if you want to play with it. You don't have to. Last one, hands anchor at the navel. When you're ready, high lunge, open the cactus arms, extend the front leg, press forward, and then take flight, but bring the hands down right away to gather that momentum. And we'll all meet with our hands at circuit. Pause, breathe into the navel. And then lower the hands to the top of the mat. Step the back foot forward and either rest in Uttanasana, forward fold, or drop the hips. Place the hands down, and we'll have a moment to linger in crow pose. So place the hands in front of you, bring extra weight into the outside edge of the hands, and just start to lift the hips, bringing the shins into the triceps. Let one leg hover, maybe the other, and then bring the feet right back down so there's no strain. And then just play with shifting the weight forward and back. And remember those leapfrogs where you really pushed into the hands to shoot the feet back, but now instead of shooting back, just let yourself hover and come back down. Make sure you're breathing, make sure there's no strain. And then when you've had enough, let's all meet in a forward fold, letting the hips lift, letting the back of the legs extend, letting any tension just roll out of the top of the head, top of the shoulders and palms. And then bend the knees, walk the hands forward, walk the feet back, drop the knees, and let's just lower. We did a lot there, so let's skip any sort of waving vinyasa. Unless you love that and you want it, then do what you love. I'm not going to stop you. And just pause. Done a lot of work to get towards those peak moments, and so just absorb any sense of exhilaration in the body. And again, note if there's anything in your body that didn't like that. Is there tension anywhere? Is there a way that when we repeat it, we can be kinder to ourselves? Okay, this is our very last repetition. So if you're tired, hang in there. If you're all juiced up, enjoy it, soak it in. And we'll bring balance into the body and we'll play a little bit more. Om Ham Hanamante Rudrakmakaya Pat Swaha. Hands wide. Bend the left knee, lift the left foot, hover the body and side bend to the right, and then switch. And then switch and extend the right arm. Push into the left hand, roll over the right side, onto the back, hugging the left knee into the chest. And then recline, laying down handstand option to hover. And then laying down crow pose. Connect forearms to shins. Feel that strength. Feel them squeeze. And then recline and just gently shake it all out. Shaking out any tightness, any tension, any urge to do that pose later if it's not going to serve you. And then grab behind the knees, kick the feet forward, soles of the feet together. Hold stillness or take your waves in Baddha Konasana. And then plant the hands. The right fingertips will flip, so they're pointed to the top of the mat. Soles of the feet to the ground. Press into the feet, press into the hands, and lift the hips high. Let the left arm reach towards the top of the mat. And then either release the hips down or stay high as you flip your dog. Pause with the left leg lifted. Circle the ankle. And then step the left foot outside of the hands. Press down into the feet, slowly coming up to high lunge. Circuit hands in front of the navel. Breathe and pause. And then unfurl the body, opening the front of the spine. Extend the front of the leg, pressing the hands forward. And then we'll take flight, but carry that momentum right into our handstand. And so lift the back leg, reach forward, and then let the left back leg keep lifting. Plant the hands and just take a little hop. Foot, and then hands to navel. Pause and breathe. And then repeat at your leisure. So you can stay here, you can stay with the first part of the sequence, or you can take it all the way into the handstand. High lunge, fold forward, start to shift the weight, bend the front knee, plant the hands, and just a little hop. And then we're back. Last one, breathe and try to enjoy whatever your choice is and be okay with where your body is today, but enjoy the opportunity to explore. Great job exploring, everybody. And the next time you come up, bring the hands in front of the navel and then release them down inside of the foot. Step the back foot forward and release into your forward fold, or we'll have our last round of crow pose, so the hips will drop. Plant the hands towards the top of the mat and just start lifting the hips and bringing more weight into the hands. Then lower the hips, and then do that a couple times, right? That same idea of momentum carrying you forward. And then as the hands take more weight, if there's no strain in the neck and shoulders, then maybe one or both feet lift, but then just bring them right back down. It's really skillful to stay pliable and not try to like hold and become rigid, unless you're just there and you're floating and it feels good, and that's okay. Then do that. And then we'll all meet with the feet down, press the hips into the air just to let the back of the legs unfold. And then press into the hands and step the feet back, pausing in plank. If you want to take a waving vinyasa here, you can. Otherwise, just lower down, resting the forehead to the mat, anchoring your fingers together, letting that be a reminder to come to center and just breathe. So I would like to offer people options, because we're all different yogis with all different bodies. Doing a deeper back bend right now could feel really good. We've done a lot of back bends, so you're prepared. So the most accessible option is a half bow pose, kind of like dancer laying down, where you just grab one foot and kick into it. You can also take a full bow pose. And so if that sounds good to you, go for it. I also want to offer, if your shoulders feel good and you want to try doing a handstand at the wall because you're warmed up and you just want to go for it, I would also like to offer you the opportunity to do that. So if anyone is doing a handstand, I'll see you stand up and I can cue you. Otherwise, enjoy playing with some back bends. Make sure you're breathing in your back bends. And after you've finished doing back bends, extend the legs and roll over onto the back. And take a mini shavasana or any counter poses. And for those of you playing with handstand, I want to encourage you to play with that idea of momentum, where the hands are high and then one foot steps forward, and as the back foot lifts, the hands come and you kick, and then you come right back out. So there's this like teeter-totter happening. Nice. And just make sure you're breathing and not creating any tension. That looks great. And if it gets harder to kick up, that might mean that's enough. And we'll all meet on our backs. And we'll have just a moment to chill before meditation and shavasana. So if you've already done a back bend, feel free to hug the knees in or take a figure four. If you haven't done a back bend yet, I might recommend doing a bridge pose here, placing the soles of the feet to the earth and just gently pressing into the hands and the shoulders and the feet to open the front of the body. You can add a gentle twist if you've already been laying down for a while, or just windshield wiper the knees to massage the low back and the glutes. And when you feel like you've balanced your back bend or your handstand, can roll up to a comfortable seat. Don't worry, there will be Shavasana. There will definitely be Shavasana. But we'll take some time to meditate before Shavasana. And we'll just take a couple of minutes to listen or repeat our Hanuman chant. Again, the idea is just connecting to our heart and the sense that we're perfect, divine beings that sometimes forget our true nature. But as we chant and we connect inside, we realize our own consciousness. And so just take a few breaths to the heart. And notice if that veil is a little thinner, if it's a little easier to feel your inner connection, this inner spaciousness. And we'll just repeat this mantra for a couple of minutes. And you're welcome to join in. You're also welcome to do that intoned om, oming with the mouth closed. So you just get to generate these really nourishing vibrations. Om Ham Hanamate Rudragmakaya Hum Pat Swaha. 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 Just take a couple of breaths to the heart. Imagine soaking in the vibrations of the mantra and also of your practice, the energy that you've cultivated through your breath and your focus. With every breath to the heart, imagine that space opening as if the heart's a flower. As you inhale, you're bringing just the right amount of nourishment, sunshine, water, so that flower can open and unfold. And as you exhale, you just soak all that nourishment in through the center of the flower down its stem. Its stem roots into your energetic system. And breathe, let the flower open even more. And then exhale and relax, staying expanded. And the flower stays open, but you can just rest in its center. And just keep breathing like that. This heart-centered meditation. We'll just attach a really simple breath mantra to this visualization so we can really focus on the heart. And the mantra is hum sa. So each of those big hearted inhales, silently repeat hum, imagining that mantra to be the nourishment that opens the flower. And then as you exhale, repeat sa. Again, allowing the nourishment of the mantra to just travel down the stem of the flower into your subtler body. So every inhale, hum, let the flower open bigger. And every exhale, sa. Just let the nourishment travel deeper inside. If you've ever grown anything, you know you can't force the flower to open. So just be gentle and kind with yourself. Keep bringing this nourishment of your breath and the mantra. And just trust the process. And the visualization is helpful. But the true essence of the heart opening can't be forced. And it will happen with time and dedication. So just keep focused on the practice while also being sweet and compassionate as you would to a gently budding plant. For the last minute of our meditation, let go of any visualization and just really gently and naturally breathe into the heart. You can maintain the mantra if it helps you stay connected to your practice and a higher flow of energy. But just let yourself relax. And before we recline in Shavasana, of course, you're welcome to stay seated in meditation if that feels good. And in which case, just ignore my talking. Just check in with your neck. Sometimes doing some of that shoulder work can create tightness in the neck. And so just notice if there's any creeping in tightness. And be really compassionate as you gently allow the chin to roll from side to side. And then the next time the chin rolls over to the left, extend the left finger or the right fingertips off to the side and just breathe down the whole right side of the neck and the shoulder. You can even gaze down at the crease of the hip on the right side to increase the stretch in the neck. And then bring the back of the right hand to the low back, just letting the front of the shoulder relax. And you can just gently rock the head, yes and no. And then release the fingertips and slowly press the head up to neutral so those muscles don't have to work. And then we'll go the opposite direction. So just start by just gently, ever so gently rocking the chin from side to side as if you're not even trying to stretch, right? You're just letting the weight of the head gently pull on the muscles of the neck. And then the next time the chin rocks over to the right, extend the left fingertips off to the side, just letting the left side open. Just breathe. And then you can bring the back of the left hand to the low back. Nothing too dramatic. Just allow the hand to rest. Allow the shoulder to soften. And then you can make gentle movements with the chin here. Gentle yeses and nos. Looking down towards the crease of the right hip now. And then use the right hand to just push the head back to neutral. Interlace the hands behind the back and press the knuckles down behind you. Just letting the front of the shoulders open, letting the neck extend out of the shoulder girdle. You can drop the chin forward, letting the back of the neck stretch. And then release the hands. If you'd like to take just a gentle side bend to release the spine, that can feel really nice. And then make your way onto your back or stay upright if you want to meditate some more. Totally up to you. We'll spend the rest of time in Shavasana, so Get comfortable. If you've got a pillow nearby, or you can just roll up the bottom of your yoga mat. Sometimes the support underneath the knees can be quite nice for the low back. And then take some time to just be aware of your shoulder blades. Let them glide onto the rib cage so there's a lot of space in the neck. Walk the shoulder blades down a little bit and then let go. So there's no tension, there's no holding in the shoulders. And just start to breathe. And if the mind feels calm, you can let everything go and just rest in this state. And if the mind doesn't feel calm, you're welcome to keep repeating the hum sa practice, even reclined, just to help you relax. And we'll rest here for the next several minutes, absorbing the practice you've generated through your focus and your heart power. Take a big breath to the heart, imagining just absorbing all the energy of your practice in this one nourishing breath. Then let everything else go. And just make gentle, conscious movements and enjoy the movements. Enjoy the sensation in your body as you start to wake up and feel. And take your time making your way out in your favorite manner, maybe rolling to the side, giving yourself a hug, whatever your body is asking for. And we'll just meet and seated with hands at the heart. And we'll close with one final intoned Om. So just an almost humming Om with your mouth shut so you can feel the sweet vibration of your practice. Take a deep breath in. Thank you so much for sharing this practice. Namaste. So wonderful to see you all. I am happy to stick around if anyone has questions. If you've got to go, have a wonderful week. See you soon. If you don't got to go, say hello. I'm here for you. Hey Octavia, hey Danielle. So good to see you. Octavia graduated a couple weeks ago, so she's still here after her training. That's so great. Thanks for coming. Handstanders, how did that go? Jamie and Jessica. Danielle, I couldn't see if you were trying. Bye, Emma. So good to see you after all these years. Yay. After all that work of like pushing the hands and integrating them into the body, did you feel supported as you played at the wall?
Yeah, it was really fun. I mean, I could feel a little more awareness of where my whole body was in space when I got upside down. It was really fun.
Wow, that's awesome. That's like all the proprioception that we were talking about of just
Yeah.
very cool. Thank